Now let's move on to our next problem, which is basically we wanted to do trying a macro, right? So copy the code from exp1 to exp2.asm and we'll create some following macros like print underscore int and print underscore str and exit. Also we like introduce a concept called main. So start of the program will start as a main label, okay, and also turn the mark setting initialize program counter global main if available. Okay, we'll do this part. So your program would look like something like this. I'll load and explain it. Okay, let me load the next experiment 2, this one. Okay, so here what I did basically compared to this thing, I kind of wrapped around these 3 lines into a macro called print str with an argument, one argument, and I will replace LA with a where it was an LA $A0 str. I'll replace that with a ARG $ARG and end macro. So my usage would be like this, like print str. I pass this str name there. So your $arg will be replaced by str. So here it will become str for your expanded code, and then similarly I wrapped around the print int. So passing an argument here, I pass an 5. So this arg will be replaced by a 5 and your code will be expanded accordingly. So remember, these things does not create any executable. What assembler does, as we discussed in the other last lecture, with that macro does not create machine code. Whenever we call or instantiate that macro at that place, this macro get expanded with replacing the list of variables with the past variable names. Okay, past string, whatever I am like printing typing here, it will be replacing your that specific argument. So last but not the least, we created one macro called exit, which is very simple, no argument, we just call it an exit. So this guy looks very like all like more towards the high level, I would say. So I'm printing a string, I'm printing an integer, an exit. It also looks like a function. So this is a trap. Everyone try to think this is a function call. Again, this is not a function call, this is a macro expansion. Okay, so let's do the assemble. See, in the assemble source code, there is nothing called macros. They don't even take part in machine code detection. What happens? Like if I do remove, let's say, these things, right? Then we do assemble, but not defined. Okay, so let's do that. Assemble, voila, no code there, no text statement. Even if you have these macros, they don't participate in any code generation. Only when you instantiate, your macro get expanded into literally with these strings, replacing the argument with the whatever things we passed in that macro instantiation. Now we do that. See, your first print str has been expanded into li this, la this. This is equivalent to your program 1, right? And then next call print integer has been expanded into li v01, li a05 syscall, and then the last one exit has been expanded into li v010 and syscall, right? So it first expanded the source code, then change the pseudo instruction into the basic instruction, then generated the code. That is the whole macro mechanism. Now here at this point, you need to also make sure you have this turn on, initialize program counter global main if defined. All right. So what it happens, we'll discuss this significance of this latter, okay, latter point of time in this semester. But let's concentrate. What happens here? You have your global label as main. Remember, we discussed about this global labeling in the last lecture. It is the same thing we are defining here, and we are starting off the program. We are calling it a main. Like the high level program, we used to have a main routine. We just do the similar convention here in this assembly programming, and it does the same thing. Like, let's clear, run it. It's just answer is 5. Nothing big there. Okay.